Bubble here, and I'm here to do the second part of my doubles tutorials. I've already put out one that was beginner double hooping and drills, and this one is going to be about beginner, intermediate, on-body hooping, and transition to get onto on-body hooping and also to get off. So let's get started. I'm going to start with transitions to get on the body. So if we have both hoops in our planes, we can do a double jump through. It's going to look like this. You can do that to the camera. Give you a better idea. From here. Okay, so pretty much what we're going to do with that one is we have the two hoops on our side planes, and they're both vertical. As they come up, we're going to get a firm grip on the hoops and then make them go from vertical to a horizontal plane, vice versa. So we're going to go from vertical to a horizontal plane. We're going to create this circle that you see right here, and that's where we're going to come in and jump through almost like a jump rope. And then from here, what you can do is you can either bring it all the way up here, maybe do some sustained spinning. You can do the jump through we just did, and you can stop right here and then give one a good push on the waist and then bring the other one up. When I do that, I like to, whichever one is in my right hand, or you have to do whichever one is on the bottom, is the one obviously they have to push, but that means that when I get ready to do this jump through, I make sure that my right hoop is actually the one on top. So that when I jump through, my right hoop is the one that's on bottom. And my right arm is pretty second nature for me, so that's why I like to do a lot of things with it. So I don't even really have to think about it. It makes tricks go a lot smoother. So like I said, you're going to do jump through, you're on your waist, give you a push with your right arm, and maybe either float it up or just bring it up. And you'll be here, one on your waist, one on your arm. You can also, instead of stopping at your waist, you can jump through and stop at your knee. Give the one down here a good push, and then there you go. Another good jump through that's pretty similar to that is you'll just jump through with one arm instead of both, and you jump through like this, and then there you go. Pretty simple. It's literally just a jump through that you normally would do, but you make sure you stop the hoop at your waist or your knees or wherever you want it to be, and you just don't forget about the other hoop. Another one is a couple walk the dog variations. You can do one, like I said, I like to use my right arm, and with all the variations that I do, I do a lot of hooping on my right leg, and I do like my wedgies with my left leg, or I swoop my left leg in. So if you're like me, and I know a lot of people are, I'm going to actually walk the dog with my right arm, and then switch my second hoop from my left arm into my right arm. So there's a couple variations. We've got, let's see. Let me try that again. Sorry, I don't have a lot of room in here, guys. Let me get this started. There we go. There we go. Alright. That's one way to do a walk the dog variation. We've also got, you can do a wedgie variation. That's a way to get on the body hooping. And then the last way to do it is using a lasso, and you can either do it in either current, if you go to the left or you go to the right, you can do it in your left arm or your right arm. I suggest, since I go to the left current, it's easier for me to do my right arm. And so it pretty much just looks like this. And what you're doing is, like I said, if you're going to the left current, I would recommend doing your right. And you just do a lasso, swing the hoop down in front of you. And if you do your right arm right arm, you're going to step in with your right leg first, and then your left leg, and then just give it another push like before. If you do your left arm, you are going to have to step in with your left leg. So whichever arm you choose to do the lasso in is the arm that, or is the same leg that you're going to step in with first. So again, I'll show you what this looks like. There you go. So there's some transitions for you. I think those are good ones for beginners. There's definitely a few more out there, but that should be enough for you guys for now. So now we're going to talk about some on-body double hooping. We've learned the transitions, and so let's learn on-body double hooping. I'm assuming that most of you are comfortable with single hooping on every part of your body if you think that you're ready to do double hooping on body. So for the rest of the just going to assume that you can hoop very comfortably on your knee, and hopefully this can become second nature to you, because if it hasn't, it will after you start doing some of this stuff. Just pretend like that hoop isn't there, and from here you can do so much stuff. You can do the vortex, like anything you can do with one hoop, or with your arms with one hoop, you can do with while hooping with one on the knee, and this is double hooping. So this is, you know, a lot of stuff that this can open up for you. This, guiding body rolls, all sorts of stuff. Ta-da! All right, so I feel like that is the easiest part of double hooping. Got one on our knee and one on our hand. They're the furthest part of the way from yourselves, so I feel like they affect each other a little less. I'm like powering this lower one with my knees, but I'm also powering this one with my hand, and the movements on my knees aren't quite so much affecting the movement of my hands, because when we're first learning some tricks, we can really over-exaggerate them at first. You know, you can see like someone who's like really trying to get the hoop going around their waist the first time, compared to someone who's like been doing it for years. It looks like they're just standing there practically. So that's why I think it's easiest to work on one on your knee and one on your arm and do all those other tricks that you already know how to do. Now to try to get those hoops moving together and get them really like on the core part of your body together. Here was my trick, and then this is how I'm going to show you guys. It might work for some of you, it might not work. I'm sorry if it doesn't. I think it should really work, because what we're going to do is we're going to start hooping both of them on our chest. Why this works is gravity wants to pull down one of those hoops. I'm going to separate the hoops with my boobs. For guys out there, it's not necessarily like you can't do this my way. You're just start with chest tubing. It might be a little bit harder with you, but I literally just start with chest tubing, and I let gravity kind of grab one, and I kind of try to separate with my boobs. You'll kind of feel separation starting to happen, and you can kind of just really make it happen. And then from here, once they're separate, hopefully you feel confident enough in your waist hooping that you just have to keep powering your chest. For me, that was how it was for me. My waist, I never had to think about it. I was just trying to keep my chest up and then also keeping them separate. So again, what we're doing is just starting even at our neck or our chest, and then letting gravity kind of grab one while trying to keep the other. I take a second here. There we go. Then get your arms in there. Ta-da! Yeah. So that's my best recommendation for working on some on-body hooping doubles. What can happen is if you find, for instance for me, I was finding that one part of my body was moving, one of the hoops on one part of my body was moving super fast and the other one was moving super slow, so I could not get the timing together. That's okay. Whichever hoop is moving super fast, find that part of the body. Is it your chest or is it your knees? Replace that hoop with a bigger hoop. What that's going to do is make it slow down, because it's going to take longer for it to revolve around your body. So, like I said, I know a lot of people have this issue, like one hoop will be going super fast and the other one's like not going, and they just can't get the timing right. Put a bigger hoop or like a wider hoop, a larger hoop on the part of your body that you can't help but go really fast. Another thing to help you guys understand this is the motion of your body. When I do this is, here's an exaggerated motion, it's almost like a cyclone or like a twister or something. When I am pushing with one part of my body, I'm pulling with the next closest part of my body. A lot of this is, I've made a connection with this as my massage therapist. It's called opposition, and so if, my knees are out, then my waist is in, my chest is out. It's all compensating for each other. So that's kind of what's happening when you're doing this body roll to keep this happening. You can see, like, I am completely opposite of myself. I'm pushing, pulling, and correctly, when double hooping, you're going to have split time on your body with that push and pull. So it's going to look like this. See how that split timing right there? When one is open in front of me, one is open to the back of me. This is ideal because this is the natural way your body is making this curve. So as you'll see, I'm pushing this one forward as, let's say I'm pushing this one forward with my chest, that I'm kind of like arching my back a little bit so this one's coming in. And then this one's going to come around. Sorry, this one's going to come around. Actually, it's a little more easy for me to show it from in motion. Okay, so like this. So right now, I'm about to push this hoop with my left shoulder as I'm also about to absorb it with my right hip. See how they're always like opposite each other? That's how it's going to be with your body. You want to be making this little body roll. My chest is pushing out, my waist is in. If I'm doing, you know, knee and chest tubing, it doesn't quite matter as much because they're a little bit further away from each other, so they don't, like I was saying, you might exaggerate. The momentum you're giving them doesn't quite affect each other as much. But still, yeah. One of the tricks or the drills that I like to do for on-body hooping, double hooping, is I will literally just sit here and I will move the hoops. I'll put both of them on my body and just move them all around. Like I'm going to show you here in a minute. Another thing is, if you need to sit here and just hold this one and push it and wait for this to get comfortable, and then you want to just push it on your chest, that's fine. And you know what? You might only get a couple times around before they like clink together, they fall. But it's all about getting that motion and knowing that like body roll that you kind of works when you do on-body double looping. Okay, so we talked about some transitions to get onto the body. We've also talked about how to do some on-body hooping and how to feel a little more comfortable with that. Let's talk about transitions to get off the body. This one's my favorite probably, and it's when you're hooping on your waist and one on your arm. So what you can do, this is what it looks like. Like that. And here's how you do it. Got one on our waist and one in our arm. One hoop on our waist and one hoop on our arm. Sorry. What you're going to do while you're hooping is you're going to take your right arm, swing it down, and come meet it at your left hip. At the same time, you're going to wait for the hoop, the second hoop that's on the bottom, to rotate around and for it to be touching, to get to this part to be open on your left hip, so it's open up to your right hip. So we're going to bring this down to our left hip, meet the hoop here, and then grab both hoops with our right arm, switch in the back to our left, switch again, and then bring it up, just like a vortex. The only problem with this sometimes is the timing can be a little weird. So let's say that you're just trying to bring this down and, oh no, you did it and the hoop's up here. All you're just going to do is sustain spin for a little bit, or sustain spin until the hoop rotates, half rotation, gets here, put in your right arm, put in your left arm, back in your right, swing it up, and then once you get here, you're just going to be rotating your arms at the top to get it to keep going. And I don't know, from here you can grab it, separate it, and then you're back to your off-body double hooping. Another way I like to get from on-body to off-body is just a little basic step out. And what you're just going to do, it's going to look like this. Pretty much all you're doing is you're hooking the hoop with the back of your right knee. And you're just sustaining it until you can grab it. So, like I said, let's say we're hooping on our knees. To hook it on the back of our right knee, we're going to step out actually with our left, step in front of the hoop, and then bend the knee up as it comes around, and that's when it's going to hook right here. And what I like to do is I kind of just like sustain spin here. You'll see you can catch it. You can kind of like move around with it. As long as you catch it right here, you're good. And yeah, then you can just grab it with your left arm and do whatever. So with the hoops, looks like this. Left leg up, out, step, step, step. From here, you can bring them together, whatever. And then the last one that I like to do is if we've got one hoop on our arm, we'll bring this second hoop that's on the bottom, we'll bring it up. There is a trick here where you actually got these in perfect split time. You don't actually have to need to know this perfectly to do this, because what we're going to do, show you what it looks like. You're simply just taking the bottom hoop, got the right one, the one up here, and it's going to be on your neck, and you're just going to grab it from the front with your left arm, like this. So we've got our right arm up here hooping. You're going to grab it with the left arm and just move it up to the wrist. I'm sorry, have the arm in, that makes more sense. Bring it up, push up like a little vortex from the front, and then you have this one on your wrist, the bottom one, and then the top one's in your hand. From here, you can either hold that split time if you've got it well. You can just hold this here and have split time for a minute. Or you can go straight into, what I do is I just swing my right arm out and down and in front of me, and then just kind of spin with them. And then you can grab the second hoop with your second arm, and then you're here. There are definitely a lot more transitions to on and off and vice versa than I did show you, but this should, hopefully these are enough to suffice for now. And I hope that this helped with some on-body hooping. I know for a lot of people, some strategies might work for some people and some might not work for others, so please don't get discouraged if these don't work for you. This is just what happened to work for me, so it might not work for very many other people, but I know it can work for some of you, so happy hooping. I hope this helped you at all, and